At Chosen, the work had already been done. They had unearthed a grave of some Army, U.S. Army, who had gone out on a patrol down a side road and unwittingly stumbled upon, I don't know if it's a patrol or a battalion, I don't know the size, but a Chinese encampment. And rather than take them and turn them over as POWs, they just killed them and threw them in a hole, literally threw them in a hole. You could tell by the way the remains were laying that they hadn't been laid there. They had been thrown in and dirt had been dumped over them. But at the point that we got there, the grave had been unearthed down to expose about the top inch or two of the layer of the skeleton brushed off. And so it was quite moving in a horrific way because man was just laying there. But so we didn't see them actually working, other than there was a grave next to it that they were starting to unearth. And so there was some minimal amount of work going on while we were there in that regard. The other one in Unsan was entirely different. And this was much more side by side working together. They had in that location, for whatever reason, there were not full skeletons. There were bone chips and teeth and things like that in the soil. And so they had a canopy set up with different sifters, and they were sifting through soil looking for small particles, artifacts, as well as parts of remains. And they were literally standing next to each other or across from each other in a given screen. They spoke some English. Our guys didn't really speak Korean. So most of the conversation was in English, either via a translator or the actual member of the KPA. I think it's natural to think that because of the hostilities that have been perpetuated between our two countries. In fact, we are still at war. We haven't ended the war, and all the rhetoric that goes on. But I was struck by, once I got in there, that dissipated for me. Big bad North Korea that took my dad that I had hated my whole life. Not a good thing to say about them. I got in there, and starting with the physical beauty, I pictured it the frozen middle of the night winter tundra. That's how it was when my dad went down. This was beautiful, spring, thatched roof, homes in the distant farms, flowers everywhere. And all of a sudden, these men standing side by side, they weren't in uniforms with guns on their hips. They were in shorts and, just casual digging in the dirt clothes. And they had a job to do, and they were doing it. And it was a connection, a human connection. And so, yes, technically they were military, but it wasn't part of military duty, really, that they were perceiving as they were there.